Okay, cool. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Let's get started. So let's just find our comfortable positions on our mats or on the floor or whatever the heck we're on. Find your comfortable cross-legged position. And then we're gonna get really weird and switch our legs. So it's uncomfortable, sorry. Okay. Now I know this is power yoga, but bear with me. We're just gonna take a few seconds here to kind of decompress and get into our yoga zone, as it were. So let's sit up nice and straight and tall and actually think about even activating our core a little bit while we're doing this, because we might as well. All right, so straight, tall, core is active, hands are on our knees, and we're gonna close our eyes and we're just gonna take 5 big deep breaths, just in through the nose and out through the nose. And I want you to think about letting your belly just expand all the way when you breathe in, and then let it all go on the exhale. Really, really focus on those big deep breaths and then our nice full exhales. The more you can really get used to kind of modulating your breath like this and taking these big deep breaths, the better it's going to be, you know, in general during races, and frankly, the better it's going to be during this session today, because we are going to be holding a lot of planks, and if you can breathe through a plank, you are going to be so much better off. So one more deep breath in and in, and then let it all out. Awesome. All right, sit up, straighten up nice and tall. And let's get that right hand up in the air, and then we're gonna bring it onto the floor behind us. Left hand is gonna come to our right knee, and we're gonna look over that right shoulder, just gently using that left hand to kind of pull on that knee to get a little bit extra twist. And breathe. Like I said, I always do this one for cyclists because we're always trying to look over our shoulder on the bike, and we want to be able to look over both shoulders so that way we can, you know, keep an eye out for traffic behind us and all of the different reasons you might need to check over your shoulder. And release that right hand, and we're just going to bring it up and over. We're going to tilt toward our left. And maybe look up at the ceiling. Keep breathing. I know it's fairly obvious to breathe through this one, but a lot of the time we kind of get caught in this weird breath holding situation. So let's avoid that happening, because it's just going to get harder from here. And bring it back through center and shimmy it out, shake it out. All right, now we're going to bring our left hand up in the air. Bring it back onto the ground behind us. Right hand comes to our left knee. We're going to look over that left shoulder this time. And again, keep thinking about breathing here. Almost play with it. See how much you can get your belly to expand. And then let all the air out on the exhale. Think about sitting up a little bit taller maybe. Think about like there's a hook and a line coming down from the ceiling, grabbing onto the top of your head and keeping you nice and upright. And the more upright you can stay and stuff like this, the more work you're getting to do on your core. And since this is power yoga, we're all about the core work. And release that left hand, bring it up and over, tilt to your right, maybe look up at the ceiling. And breathe. Maybe check in, sort of start thinking about if one side feels tighter than the other, or you know, maybe you're just noticing like, whew, even this, I'm already feeling a little tired. I did a big workout yesterday. Or if you're feeling like, yes, I'm super energized right now. This is going to be great. And bring it back to center. Give it a little shake. Just let your arms do what they want to do. All right, let's come on over up onto our hands and knees. And we'll start with just a couple little cat-cows just to wake ourselves up a little, wake our spines up. So instead of thinking about arching your back to get into cat, I want you to think about dropping your hips and then dropping your head and dropping your chest. and your back will arch, but that's not the main thing that we're doing. That's the result of what we're doing. Now we're in cat, and then to come into cow, we're just going to start lifting our hips up, lifting our chest up, lifting our chin up. And the result is that our stomach drops. And reverse, start dropping those hips, drop your head, drop your chest, bring it back into cat. And then right when you get to the top, just start raising those hips, raising that chest, chin, coming back into cow. We're just going to do that 3 more times, just at your own speed, at your own pace with your breath. Just sort of let your spine start waking up a little bit. And maybe on your last cow, give your hips a little wiggle. Maybe go left, right a couple times. See how your lateral movement's going. If one side feels a little tighter than the other. And then just come on back to that nice neutral spine. Okay, we're gonna start getting a little sweaty here. I want you to really think about planting your left hand down on the mat. Really firm, like if I was to just like come over and just push you, that left arm is staying in place. So you can probably guess where this is going. I want to bring our right arm straight out in front of us. Okay, we're balanced, we're good. Now, add to the challenge. Let's bring that left leg straight out back behind us. So while we're in this position though, I want us to think about your left foot is being pulled toward the wall behind you. Your front hand pulled toward the wall in front of you. You're being stretched, you're getting taller, longer, really working everything. Everything is focused, your core is turned on, your left glute is turned on. All right, let's bring our knee and our elbow in to meet. Again, that core is really contracted, really strong. And then send it back out. Every time you send it out, think about stretching a little bit more. We're gonna do that 4 more times. So bring it in, right elbow to left knee, and send it back out. Bring it in, and send it back out. 2 more. Bring it in, send it back out. And last one, bring it in, and then send it back out. Now we're gonna just do 3 pulses where we're gonna bring our left leg out to the left a little bit, and our right arm is gonna come out to the right. And then bring it back in, bring it out, bring it in, bring it out. I lied, we're gonna do 1 more. Bring it out, bring it in, hand comes down, knee comes down, press it back into child's pose. Whew. I will add, I can't see you, so feel free to jump into child's pose whenever you need a break. All right. Make our way back to a nice neutral tabletop. Maybe think about just, we call these scat push-ups. If I was doing a push-up, where you just kind of let your shoulder blades stay in place, but kind of drop the rest of your upper back. And it's a really good way to just quickly kind of relax your shoulders if they got tense during that. Maybe do a couple of those. Okay, this time we're gonna plant that right hand really firm on the mat. Again, if I pushed you, you'd stay up. All right, left arm comes out straight in front of us. Right leg comes back straight behind us. Really think about stretching between the walls. You're getting pulled in both directions. Core is animated. Right glute is working this time. All right, let's bring elbow to knee. Core is engaged. Send it back out. And bring it in. And send it back out. 3 more. Bring it in. And send it back out. Stretch. Remember to breathe. Bring it in. Send it back out. Take a breath, even if the breath is difficult. Bring it in. and send it back out. While we're here, get nice and strong. Stretch it. All right, left hand goes out a little bit to the left. Right leg comes out to the right. Back to center. 3 more. Out. And back. Breathe. Out. And back. 1 more. Out. Back. Hand comes down. Knee comes down. Press it back into child's pose. Phew. Well, while we're here, let's maybe just thread the needle. So we're going to take our left arm. We're going to thread it under our right armpit. And just let our heads drop again. Maybe tilting a little bit towards the left. Just to get a bit of a bonus stretch in our left shoulder. Really focus on those nice, slow, deep breaths. If that bird dog was a little much, good chance to bring our heart rate back down. And unthread that left arm. This time, right hand comes under our left armpit. And maybe tilt just a tiny bit towards the right. Really focus on breathing here. Even, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is my favorite for digestion, just having your stomach resting on your knees or resting on the tops of your thighs. It's basically just like a massage for your internal organs. Fantastic for those days where you finish a ride and you've got a bit of that like cross gut going on. Just hang out in this for a few minutes. And let's bring that right hand back on out and come on up to standing. Okay, let's get some sun salutations going. This time we're going to be a little speedier with our sun salutations, get a little more aerobic with them. So we're going to inhale our arms up, we're going to look up, do a tiny little back bend, and then we're going to swan dive our arms down into a forward fold. From here, on our next inhale, we're just going to come up to a flat back. So we're making an L with our back, our torso to our legs. And then we're going to fold again. We're going to walk our fingers up or step our feet back into a plank. Bad news, this is where it gets slow. We're going to hold this plank for a few breaths. So I want you to check in while you're here. Think about creating a nice straight line with your body. One of those everything should be engaged poses. So core, glutes, hamstrings, quads, arms, etc. Everything is going right now. Few more breaths. If you're shaking, that's okay. Totally normal. If you need to drop down to your knees, go ahead. 2 more breaths here. All right, now we're gonna slow race to the ground. So like you're coming down from a push-up, all the way down to the mat. Let your toes come out. We're gonna bring our hands straight in front of us, like we're Superman flying through the air, which we're gonna be in a second. We're gonna get into locust here. So when I say inhale, you're gonna inhale everything up except for our pelvic bones. So basically, we're flying. Ready? Get set. Inhale it all up. Arms come up, legs come up, chest comes up, chin comes up, looking straight ahead of you, like you're Superman, soaring through the skies. You're on your way to save Metropolis from doomsday. You're on your way. Maybe you tilt a little to the left, maybe you tilt a little to the right. Maybe you dodge a pigeon, swoop under an airplane. Keep holding everything nice and firm. Bring your arms out to the side. Wonder Woman is here on her invisible jet. She's coming to help you save the day. And release everything. Relax down onto the mat. Take a few breaths here. coming back to that breath again, really thinking about anytime we're down, use that to your advantage. Take a lot of deep breaths. Try to avoid any shallow breathing. Always think about feeling your belly pressing into the mat because you're expanding it so much. And that's going to guarantee that you get enough air, that you can drop your heart rate, that you're ready for what we have coming next. Because we're not done yet. Hands come back to either side of your chest. We're going to tuck your toes. We're going to press up into plank. Then we're going to bring our butts up and back into our first downward dog. Might need to reset your feet a little bit. And while we're here, it's not really about getting your heels to touch the ground. It's about being nice and strong in this posture. So I want you to think, instead of sinking your heels, think about sending your butt up and back toward where the ceiling and the wall meet. Think about your arms being nice and strong. If you can't get your heels to the ground, again, totally okay, totally normal, especially for cyclists. But can you think about getting your torso to your hands? So from your lower back to your hands into a straighter line. That's a little easier to do than getting your heels down all the way. And slowly walk your hands up to meet your feet. Coming into that forward fold. All right, from here, take a deep breath. We're gonna bend our knees just slightly. We're gonna bring our stomach sort of down on our thighs and start kind of tilting back just a tiny bit. We're sending our hips back a little bit. And then we're gonna lift our torso up. We're gonna lift our arms up. So we're kind of in our chair position here. And think about, you should be able to see the tops of your feet. Your knees really shouldn't be that far over your feet. You want to think about hips being back. You're really strong in your torso, even though it doesn't feel like your stomach is doing a whole lot here. Your core is doing a fair amount of work to stay nice and strong in this position. And again, you want to think about, if someone came over and just poof, 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 pushed you, you'd still be standing. You're like a really good chair, not like a crappy one that if you sit on it, it's just gonna break. Be a strong chair. All right, let's straighten our legs, let our hands drop, let our heads drop. Just come back into that forward fold. Pause here for a breath. Inhale, straighten your back, make that L shape. And then exhale, back to forward fold. We're gonna walk our fingers forward again into our plank. We're just gonna stay in this plank for 2 quick breaths. Okay, 2 slow breaths, I lied. And now we're actually gonna turn onto the outside of our left foot. We're gonna stack our right foot on top of it. If it's available to us, we're gonna bring our right arm up in the air for our side plank. If this is too hard for balance, bring your right foot in front of you, bring it behind you, whatever is comfortable. If this is super easy for balance, lift that right foot up. If this is super easy for balance, you can look up at the ceiling. Don't forget to breathe, because we're in it for 3 more breaths. Maybe your arm comes up over your head. Really play in here, see what feels just the right amount of difficult. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. All right, bring that right hand down, slide back onto both sets of toes, and slow race down to the ground. Toes come out. This time we're gonna bring our hands far and wide from the mat. And especially because we're in power yoga, we really don't wanna go super high on anything flexible. So for our Cobra, we just want far and wide. Press our hands into the floor and use them to push it on up. Lift your chest. Do not go any farther than what feels like a gentle stretch on your low back. It's not what we're here for. We're not here for dramatic Cobra. We're here for baby Cobra. Think about your shoulders being nice and dropped, not scrunched up at your ears. Think about breathing. Think about looking straight in front of you. Really nice proud chin. Focusing on those slow, deep breaths. Even if you want to breathe faster, use this as a good chance to practice slowing it down. And really focus on nose breathing. I know, especially as we get into challenging stuff, it's tempting to start breathing out of your mouth. But I find nose breathing is much better for, really relaxing yourself. And slowly lower it back down to the mat. Hands come to either side of your chest. Tuck your toes under. Press it up into plank. And then back into downward dog. Maybe pedal your feet this time. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. So think about being active in it. You can be really chill in downward dog and just kind of take it easy. But I'm going to think about using this time to really work on stuff, whether it's pedaling one foot down slowly and then the other, whether it's thinking about going just a little bit farther up and back. Really, really keeping everything active, not just hanging out. 2 more breaths. All right, and if you have little hand weights or cans or whatever you're going to use for weights, just make sure they're up towards the front of your mat. Then we're going to bring our right leg up and back in the air. And then we're going to step it up between our hands. We're going to spin down so we're onto our left foot. And it should be just about perpendicular with your right foot. And when you're ready, we're going to swing windmill our arms up. And we're going to come into warrior 2. And what we really want to focus on is a strong upper body here. So really have those arms. Think about what we were doing in bird dog before, where front arm is being pulled in one direction, back arm is being pulled in the other direction. If you have hand weights and you want to get a little bit of extra upper body, you can be hanging on to them right now. But really make sure that they're not dropping your hands. Only use them if you can still keep your hands straight. And breathe. Think about those core muscles really being active. Check in with your front toes. Can you see your toes over your kneecap? If you can't, you've gone too far. Back that knee up. Get really strong. If you need your arms to have a break, give them a swoosh. But bring them right back out. If you're sweating, that's okay. I'm a little sweaty too. It's fine. This is power yoga. All right, we're gonna tip it back. So tilt your arms all the way back so that your left hand comes to just touch your left leg. Don't rest it on your left leg. Just touch, maybe even check in. Make sure that left quad is active. Keep that right knee still bent in the front. Still strong, maybe look up at the ceiling. Keep breathing. And come back through to center. We're gonna bring our right elbow onto our right knee, but we're not gonna put a lot of weight there. You should still be able to just lift your arm up. Left hand comes up overhead. Maybe lift that right forearm. Make sure that nothing is being weighted. You're not just collapsing into this pose. You're nice and strong. It's called warrior pose. We don't want to be really soft on it. We want to be strong, tough. Again, like if I came and shoved you, you would not fall. And bring it back to center, arms straight out. Just 2 more breaths here. You got this. All right, let's windmill the hands back down to either side of the of your right foot. untuck your left foot so you're on your toes. And step it back into plank. And just hang out here, nice and relaxed, right? This isn't hard at all. This is like a break. Deep breath. And slow race down to the mat. Toes come out, hands come far and wide. Maybe in a little bit if you thought the last Cobra was totally easy. Deep breath. Press into your hands and press it up into Cobra. Again, we're checking in that our shoulders are not up at our ears. They're nice and down and relaxed. And take a minute to think about the difference between your right side and your left side now. You know, we just did a lot of stuff on one side. So you might feel a little different. Your right glute might feel a little more tired than your left one. Good news, we're going to remedy that situation. And slowly lower back down to the mat. Hands come to either side of your chest. Tuck your toes. Press it up into plank. And back into downward dog. Pause for a quick breath here. And then walk your hands back to meet your toes. Come into that forward fold again. Let your head relax. Now, I want you to think about sending your hips back just a little bit. And as you send your hips back, bend your knees. So hips are going back, knees are getting bent to about a 30-degree angle. And we're gonna lift our torso off of our thighs. Arms come out nice and straight, come into a chair. Just hang out here for a few breaths. Really think about attaching your toes into the mat, really digging them in. A lot of the time it's easy to kind of almost like rock back onto our heels, but really think about that even weight distribution on your feet. Maybe think about how weird your feet look. I don't know, whatever works for you. Nice deep breath. Think about a really straight line from your fingers all the way down your back. Breathe, maybe even come up just a little bit more with your torso without changing how high you are in your hips. 2 more breaths. Maybe you're getting a little heat here. That's fine. All right, let's straighten those legs, drop into that forward fold. Enjoy how relaxing it feels. Nice deep breath. And straighten your back, make that nice L shape. And then let it all drop again into that forward fold. And walk your hands forward, come into our plank. Just a little breath here. Think about getting into that good, strong plank position. And then we're gonna tilt over onto the side of our right foot this time. Left foot comes to stack on top of it. Left arm goes up in the air. Really strong. If balance is an issue, you can bring your left foot in front of you or behind you. If balance is not an issue, you can lift your left foot. Just find your comfortable challenge place. Maybe your arm stays straight. Maybe you look up at the ceiling. Maybe you bring your arm straight over your head instead of up toward the ceiling. 4 more breaths. Three more breaths. Find something to focus on if you're struggling with balance. 2 more breaths, and you should be counting your breaths too, just to make sure that you're doing them. A lot of the time when we're in planks, we tend to start clenching everything and not breathing, but that does not make them any easier, I promise. And bring your left hand down, roll back onto your both sets of toes. And good news, slow release it to the ground. And toes come out. Hands come straight ahead, Superman style. Pause to catch your breath for a second. All right, one more Superman, guys. I know you can do this. Ready? Get set. Everything up. You're a bird. You're a plane. You are Superman. All right, arms straight ahead, eyes straight ahead. Arms out to your sides, like an airplane. Send them back like a penguin. Back to airplane. Superman. Airplane. Superman. Penguin. Airplane. Superman. Penguin. Hold the penguin. You're going down an ice chute. There are fish at the bottom. It's going to be amazing. You just have to hold out for one more breath. One more breath. The fish are right there. Splash. Fish are in. Let it all go. Relax. And breathe. Nice deep breaths, like you're the happiest penguin in the world. But even penguins have to do some work sometimes. Arms come back to either side of our chest. Tuck your toes, press it up into plank, and back into downward dog. Reset your feet if needed. And deep breath. Maybe pedal your feet a little bit. Really just keep this posture nice and active. All right, this time our left leg is coming up in the air. And then stepping up between our hands, spin that right foot down onto the ground. Check in, make sure we're making a nice little L with our left foot and our right foot. And then spin those arms up. And check in with your front knee. Can you see your toes over your knee? Check in with your back leg. Is it nice and straight and activated? You should feel all the muscles in your hamstring and your quad working. If you have weights, you can grab them, hold them out, and only do it if it's not going to make your wrists go down. We want straight out. Like you were about to cast a spell on somebody or something. Really strong, really focused. We're looking over our front middle finger. And as always, we are breathing. If your arms are tired, give them a swoop. Very strong, very focused. Ready? Let's tilt it back. Don't lean on your back leg. Just rest your arm down. Left arm is straight up ahead. Make sure that front knee is still bent. Back leg should be working pretty hard right now. And bring it back to center. Keep breathing. Maybe swoop it. And keep breathing. All right, our left forearm is coming to our left thigh. Right arm is coming up and overhead. But you should be able to lift up your left arm. We don't want to slouch into this. We want to be strong in this. So we're forming a straight line from our index finger of our right hand to our back toe. So really think about that straight line. Think about if you have trouble and you find yourself slumping into this left arm, just take the left hand out of the equation. Just drop it to your side. Really think about that straight line. And bring it back through center. 2 more breaths. Looking over that front finger. And windmill both arms down to either side of your left foot. Uncurl your right foot so you're on your toes. Step it back into plank. 2 more breaths here. Press it back into downward dog. And just come down onto your knees, onto your hands and knees. Then just up into kneeling. All right, good news. We're mostly there. All right, come on over onto your butts, then onto your backs. Set it so that your heels are just a few inches from your butt on the floor. Hands down at your sides. We're gonna go into just a couple bridges, but I want these to be really, really pointed bridges, if that makes sense. What I really want us to do is focus. And to do that, I want us to think about pinning our arms and our hands down on the mat. So think about pressing your arms, all of them, from top to bottom, into the mat. This feels very easy when we are all the way down, but I assure you it's gonna start feeling hard as we start bringing our butts off the ground. So, everyone, arms down. Promise? Okay, let's get started. Arms down, hands down. We're gonna start slowly lifting our hips. Very, very slowly working our way up into our bridge with our arms still pinned to the ground. Coming up just so we're making a straight line from our torso all the way to our knees. Glutes are activated, quads are activated, core is activated. Hands are pressing into that mat. Really press in with your hands, really press in with your upper arms. It's a minor shift, but it really makes a difference with how active we're keeping everything. You can experiment. Let your arms go. Just relax them. How much easier does it feel right now, right? You could stay up like this for forever. That's not going to do you any good, though. You're not going to get any of the benefits of the bridge like that. So press back in, and suddenly everything is active again. So that's sort of the trick. I know it's not fun to be doing the active version. It's way more fun to just let it go, but you're gonna get results with the active version. All right, let's slowly start to bring it back down. Just vertebra by vertebra. Almost give your back a little mini massage, especially your low back as it hits the ground. And relax. Okay, one more. Hands down, arms down, really pressing in. Ready? And slowly start coming up. When you get up, if this feels easy, if you can keep your hands pressing into the mat, you can take your left foot off the ground and straighten your left leg out, but I don't want any left legs flailing up in the air. I want them to stay where your thighs are parallel with each other. It's way harder this way. Less dramatic, much harder. Only do this if you can keep pressing your hands into the ground. Keep pressing, keep pressing. And lower that left foot if you had it up. Reconfigure, reset. Keep pressing those arms in. And this time, right leg comes out if that is available to you. Again, we're not coming way up. We're just going so that our thighs are still parallel with each other. We are pressing into the mat with our hands like our life depends on it. And lower that right foot back down. And slowly, slowly lower your hips all the way back down to the ground. Nice work. All right, give yourself a little hug. Bring those knees into your chest. Maybe rock a tiny bit from side to side. And feet come back down to the mat. Let's just take a second to do just a couple little twists. So we'll keep this simple. We're just gonna drop, we're gonna keep our legs together here. We're just gonna drop our knees to the right side. And then we're gonna look over our left shoulder. We're maybe gonna bring our arms out to the sides. And just take a few breaths. This is another great one for digestion. If you can just be in a twist and be breathing into the twist. Really think about that belly breathing again. It's going to help move things along through your intestines. But the twist only really works for digestion if you keep breathing. So remember to breathe. And bring it back through to center. And then just tip those knees over to the other side. Look over your right shoulder this time. Deep breath. Really think about how much you can expand your stomach here. If it helps, put your left hand just on your stomach, and every inhale, you can really feel it go up. And then every exhale, you feel it really drop. And bring your legs back to center. All right, our favorite part of every yoga session, we're gonna do our Shavasana real quick. So either bring your legs just straight out in front of you, arms come down at your sides, or if you have a wall right near you and you'd rather get just a little more athletic on it, get a little more bonus recovery, you can bring your legs so they're up the wall. They don't need to be straight up the wall where your butt is right against it. They can be backed out a little bit, just whatever is going to be comfortable, not necessarily perfect 90-degree angle. And either way, arms are out at your sides. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just take 10 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Just really relax, absorb the work we just did, reset. There's still a few hours left of the day to go. So let's think about basically almost restarting our day when we wake up. So deep breaths. Nice, calm, quiet. I promise I will wake you up in 30 seconds, so chill out. And slowly start wiggling fingers and toes, sort of waking everything back up again. If you're up on the wall, maybe just drop your knees down to your chest, give yourself a little hug as you sort of tilt yourself over to one side. And whether you're in Shavasana or legs up the wall, just start making your way slowly back on up to sitting. Don't rush yourself. And all right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this. I hope you had a good time. I hope you got a good workout in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you all soon. So, namaste.